So welcome you guys tonight. I know it's like a hot sunny day here in Atlanta, Georgia. Most of you guys know me, Nadine, and if you don't know me, I'm sure you've spoken to me over the phone. And so what we're coming together today for this special event is to share just some really awesome information. Like I had said in the video, I had gotten to see the speaker that we have tonight share a lot about mindset training. And what I realized is, over the past 10 years, a lot of my success is because of this mindset training that I have learned. And so I wanted to share it with you guys as a gift. However, these top people who share this caliber of training are thousands of dollars to hire as coaches and to go see them on their training platforms. So I was so lucky and blessed to have one of my good friends from now of over 12 years, a friend and a mentor, who shared a really powerful message of overcoming adversity, of growing up in a home touched with all different things from addiction, suicide, to poverty. And I heard his story about how he transformed into a #1 best-selling author, international speaker, multimillionaire. We've just been able to participate together in a billion-dollar company, and just I've learned so much over the years that has transformed my mindset. So this person that I'm bringing to you tonight is no joke, you guys. Like I said, multimillionaire, coaches thousands and thousands of people around the world, and has just changed my whole life. My nonprofit wouldn't even be where it is if it weren't for the mindset training. So I would love to introduce to you guys again, #1 best-selling author, multimillionaire, Mr. Matt Morris. Matt.
I'm here. Awesome. Hey, everyone. Great to see everyone's face. Love to have your videos on. Always more entertaining when we can see everyone, but excited to be here. I had a chance to hang out with Nadine. I guess it was last weekend. And, we've become friends, and I kind of know what she does. And she kind of pulled back the curtains and showed me really like going into detail what she did and how you guys work together. And I just got really, really inspired. And, she asked if I could kind of share my story here. And she was also sharing some of the financial situations that are going on and the need for some write-offs, home-based business, and so I wanted to share some of that as well. So yeah, excited to hop in. Nadine is just such an amazing leader, and incredible to see what she's been able to accomplish over all the years. And more than anything, just her heart to help people. And it is amazing. Very few people that I've met in my career that have that kind of commitment to just serving others and, being a blessing to other people. And so it's inspiring to me. And so she asked if I could hop on, and I absolutely said yes. How could you say no to Nadine, right? Anyone relate to that? I see some smiles for sure. And I'll warn you first off, it is 100 degrees here in Dallas, and it is hot. My air conditioner, one of my AC units went out, and so it's like 88 degrees. So if you see me like glistening, it is my sweat for sure. And let me know, Nadine, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, totally. We can hear you great.
Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, great. I had gotten a message that it might be muffled. So awesome. Well, what I want to do is just kind of run through a framework. It's what I call the success path framework. And, my story, I grew up in Dallas. I went to UT Austin to go to school. And let's just say me and school didn't get along very well in high school. My grades were about as good as the kid sitting next to me. I finished in the half of the class that made the top half possible. Does that make sense? So it wasn't a stellar student. I went to college, somehow got in, and decided I went to the U.S. Marine Corps. went to boot camp. And when you come out of boot camp, you have a level of confidence that you probably don't really deserve to have. And so that was me for sure. And so I decided, even though I was not a great student, I was going to be a doctor. I watched some movie that got me really motivated to be a doctor. And so my first semester, somehow I could get into biochemistry, which was the pre-med major. First semester, failed chemistry, failed biology, realized I was not cut out for medicine. Went to the economics school because I couldn't get into business school. Had to take Calculus 101, the most basic class, failed it miserably, like a 40. So the next semester took the same class the second time, same textbook, same lesson plan, same everything, and I still failed. So, realized maybe I'm not cut out for economics either. And, it was like, what am I going to do with my life? I could, be an entrepreneur or an underwear model. I figured I'd go broke very quickly as an underwear model. So that was no hope there. So decided to be an entrepreneur. My father, when I was younger, had owned a restaurant, had gone out of business. And I just kind of decided that was going to be my career path, and, dropped out of college before I failed out. And it was kind of, sometimes you hear these amazing stories of people in college in their dorm and they create these amazing companies. And I was in my dorm, and my first year, zero success. Like, I had spent $10,000 more than I made. Started another business, another year, actually 3 years into being an entrepreneur, I was $30,000 in debt, nowhere close, like spending more than I was making every single month. Ended up taking a job selling above ground swimming pools in Southern Louisiana. My mom basically said, either get a job or move out. And so I got a job. Didn't get paid commissions until the pool got installed, which was 6 to 8 weeks later. And so for 2 months, I lived out of my car. It was a little beat up red Honda Civic. Not great when you're 6'3", bathing in gas station bathrooms. And, they say there's two motivators in life: the desire for pleasure and then the avoidance of pain. And you guys can guess which one is a bigger motivator, right? It's always the avoidance of pain. And it was living out of my car, bathing in nasty gas station bathrooms. And it was just kind of a wake-up call for me. Because while I was really wanted to be an entrepreneur, I knew it was like, that's my destiny, because I had at this point about 20 different jobs. I either got fired or couldn't stand any of the jobs that I ever had. And it was like, that was the only option, but I wasn't, let's say, the most focused. I was having some fun and things like that. And so it was living out of my car when just the frustration and, the feelings of defeat, like I should be so much farther ahead than where I am after 3 years of doing this. And I basically just had a wake-up call and, made a commitment to myself. I said, I've got to figure this out. And a friend of mine had given me a cassette tape. Some of you remember cassette tapes. Some of you are too young, but it was Tony Robbins, and I think it was called Unlimited Power. And what he talked about was how he had gone from being totally broke, living in a 400 square foot apartment, washing his dishes in the bathtub, to becoming a multimillionaire. And he said a couple things that just made a ton of sense to me. He said, if you want to have a lot of success, you follow a concept called modeling. And modeling just says, if you want to have success, find someone who's had success, figure out what they did, do what they did, and you can have success yourself. And I thought, sounds like being a copycat. It's kind of how I got through high school. Maybe I could apply that to business. And then the other thing he talked about was how he had read over 700 books, everything he could get his hands on mindset and business and success and all this. And so I didn't really have a mentor. I didn't really have a career at this time. Selling pools wasn't it. But I started what I call a reinvention process. And I read this article about the human body, and it said how every cell in the human body will die and regenerate itself every 3 to 7 years. So 7 years from today, none of us will have the same cells that we have in our body right now. And it was all about how you can reinvent your health based on what you put into your body, right? The right nutrition, food, hydration, all that kind of stuff. And I just, like, what clicked in my mind was, if you can reinvent your body, surely I can reinvent my financial success, because I'm, 22 years old, homeless, living out of my car, $30,000 in debt. Like, it can't get too much worse, right? And so without a mentor or a vehicle, the one thing I did was I started reading books, and books on success, books on mindset. And over the course of, many years, read hundreds and hundreds of books. And long story short, it wasn't like an overnight success, but over the next couple years was able to get to a six-figure income, $1 million in the bank in my 20s, and have been blessed to just do a lot of cool things. I've spoken to audiences in 36 countries around the world. It's been a ton of fun. I've visited, vacationed to 84 different countries, and have just been able to help a lot of other people achieve success in life. Financial success. I've had 54 documented $1 million earners. And, it was really a matter of just paying it forward and passing the information that I learned forward. And I'll tell you, the biggest challenge for me, like, I would go listen to speakers and I'd read books, and they all kind of said the same thing. They said success is attracted by the person you become. Anyone heard that before? And so that made a ton of sense. Like, okay, I need to become a powerful person, and then I'll have success. But how do I become that powerful person? And so after reading hundreds and hundreds of books and going to tons of coaching, and, finally figuring it out, having some success, being able to start mentoring others, starting what has been the #1 transformational coaching company in the direct selling space with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of coaching clients, what we've really nailed down is what I call the success path framework. And it's essentially a framework for becoming a powerful person. And the argument that I make is that mindset is always way more important than skill set. And we typically want the sexy tactics on how to be successful in whatever it is. So if it's weight loss, as an example, if you want to be successful with your body, there are a million different books when it comes to getting six-pack abs, right? And so what I kind of realized over the years is, if tactics were enough, we'd all be rich, skinny, and happy, wouldn't we? Okay, so it's more than just the tactics, because anyone can go read, there's 100 books on six-pack abs, but why don't we have it? And it's largely a mindset issue, right? When it comes to being successful in business or in relationships or your emotional life, having emotional power and emotional control, your intellectual life, there's a framework and there's a formula for success in all of that. And so I want to just kind of touch at a high level with you guys and just kind of draw it out, because it was so confusing for me for so many years until I found a framework that actually kind of made sense. And so I'll draw this out, and then I'll go back and I'll cover some other things, right? So where does success come from, right? So success in life comes from the right actions, right? So if you're in sales, as an example, if you make a lot of phone calls, that would be the action that leads to closing deals and having success. If you want to be a bodybuilder, obviously the action of going to the gym and lifting weights and eating right and the right protein and hydration and sleep and all that, right? Those actions lead to success, right? So no surprise. And what happened to me for years and years and years is, like, that's super obvious. And there's a million books on goal setting. So I'd read, books, Think and Grow Rich and all these other amazing books, and I'd learn how to set goals, right? So I set a goal and I set an action plan behind the goal. And then inevitably I wouldn't do the thing in my action plan. And so I'd beat myself up, and then I'd reset my goal. And then I would have my action plan, and I wouldn't do the things in my action plan. So I'd beat myself up again, and I'd reset my goal. And then I wouldn't do the action plan, and I'd reset my goal after beating myself up. And it was this cycle. Has anyone ever, like, if you're honest with yourself, you don't have to raise your hand, but like, it's a cycle that a lot of my coaching clients are in whatever field they're in, right? And it's like, why can't I get myself to do the thing I know I need to do, right? And so in your life, I'll ask you a simple question. What is the one thing in your life? Maybe it's business, maybe it's personal, whatever it is. What's the one thing that you know if you did it, you would have the success that you desire in that particular category? What's that one thing? And just get it in your mind. So we don't have to do an exercise, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on that. For most of you, how many of you, like, the answer came right away? By show of hands. How many, like, the answer just pops up? I know I need to be making more calls. I need to go work out. I need to stop eating, whatever I'm eating. Okay. So let's dig a little deeper, right? So I didn't get it until I started digging a little deeper. Where do actions come from? So actions come from feelings. Okay. So if you feel motivated, you'll go do the thing. If you feel confident, you're more likely to go make phone calls. Or let's say you're not in a relationship and you want to be in a relationship, and maybe you're a guy and you want to have a girlfriend. Well, how do you get a girlfriend? You ask a girl out. Okay. Well, if you're not asking a girl out and there's people around you, they're probably lacking a feeling of what? Confidence. Right? Acting out of courage instead of fear, right? I don't believe in an absence of fear. We're always going to have fear in different areas. Some people are like, I have no fear. I call BS on it, right? We all have fears. But what's important is we operate out of courage. Courage is having the fear, but doing it anyway, right? And so the feeling is what leads to the right actions. And so if we dig a little deeper, then it's like, well, when years ago I got involved in direct sales. Right. And so I was selling, originally it was a tax education program. It was $1,200 for this tax education program that I would sell to entrepreneurs and business owners. Right. And I knew I needed to make calls. And I heard this thing and it was like, don't make sales calls unless you're in a positive state, unless you're in a motivated state. And so what did I do? I never really made any calls because I was never in a motivated state. So I might listen to some music to try and pump myself up, but it was this endless cycle, right? I couldn't quite get the right feelings. And so let's dig a little deeper. And this is all based on brain science. I am a massive geek when it comes to, brain science. My latest book here, Behave, it's about 700 and some odd pages. And so this is all, backed by a ton of science, but where do feelings come from? Well, feelings come from our thoughts and beliefs. Okay? So our feelings come largely from the things that we think about and our belief system. Our belief system, you can also consider that to be your identity. Okay? And so here's a concept that someone told me years ago. We're the only creatures that we know of that can think about what we think about. Okay, so my dog Bella, she's amazing, but she operates primarily based on instinct, right? She doesn't have the ability to control her thoughts, to direct her thoughts. Okay, as humans, science shows we're the only creatures we know of, maybe, monkeys, can think about what we think about and really direct our thoughts, okay? And so here's what the cycle that I got caught in for so many years was. I was constantly thinking about what I don't want. I was constantly thinking about what I don't have. And what ends up happening is your thoughts obviously create your feelings, but your thoughts also create your belief. Your belief is your identity. Your identity is who you believe you are, okay? And you believe you're someone right now. Now, some of those are going to be positive. Some of those might not be positive. Some of those might be negative. Mine was really broken. And what happens is it works the opposite way as well. Your beliefs also shape your thoughts. Your beliefs will trigger your thoughts. So I'll go back into, back in time a little bit. So I did not do very well in school. I had a lot of chaos as a kid. When I was about 5 years old, my parents divorced. My father broke into our house and murdered my mom's boyfriend right in front of her. And so my father went to prison. And I was an angry kid. I was not focused on school. I just had chaos in my life. And so what happened is I got really bad grades. I struggled to get through school. It was hard for me to focus. You know, my mom my parents had a business. They divorced. Both businesses went bankrupt. We were on welfare, on food stamps, lived in a trailer park. It was like, you know, not the best situation. My dad got out of prison, severe alcoholic, crazy stories there. Ended up committing suicide when I was 13 years old. So there was just a lot of chaos when I was growing up. So I wasn't super focused on making great grades at school. So the story that I told myself, so my experience was that I did really bad in school. And so the belief that I adopted was I'm not very smart. And I held on to that to be the truth. And there were a lot of other things. When I got involved in business and sales, I felt like I was too young. I didn't have any credibility. And so that was the story that I had created for myself. That was my identity. What I believed about money is an example. I saw my mom work 2 and 3 jobs to work her way through college. And then eventually when I got to high school, she got her law degree. She became an attorney. And as an attorney, a staff attorney, she still sold cosmetics at Estee Lauder, at Foley's after school, like 3-4 nights a week. She still worked a part-time job as an attorney. So my belief was money's really hard to come by. I didn't know anyone who had a lot of money. And so that was my belief system and what I felt like was true. So I want to talk to you about, and you may want to write this down, it's called the law of consistency and commitment. And the law of consistency and commitment says we will be committed to remaining consistent with who we believe we are. And so if we believe we are a $2,000 a month earning type person, or let's say $40,000 a year type person, we might have a conscious goal of making $100,000 a year, right? That's our conscious goal, right? We get motivated and say, all right, my goal is to do that. But what we have to understand is that our identity is shaped by our subconscious mind. And all the experts say, all the science says, the subconscious is infinitely more powerful than the conscious mind. And so you have 2 sides of the brain. You have your subconscious and you have your conscious brain. So what's your conscious mind? Your conscious mind is the things that you're thinking right now, right? You're thinking, man, this guy must be really hot. I can see him sweating. There's your conscious mind going, okay? Your subconscious mind, this is your identity. This is what you really believe is true about yourself. This is what triggers your automatic thoughts, okay? And so if you have a conscious goal of making $100,000 a year, but your identity says, I am a $40,000 a year type person, you have 2 conflicting goals. And if the subconscious is infinitely more powerful than the conscious mind, and that's what all the science says, which goal wins? The subconscious goal wins every time. Now we can relate this to financial success, business, relationships. Like, what do we genuinely believe is true about the opposite sex? What do we genuinely believe is true about marriage, right? I am divorced. I realize, like, as I continue to grow, I understand, wow, holy cow, my belief system is really broken in this particular area, okay? And I've been with the same woman now for almost 6 years. We're engaged, have an amazing life. And so, knock on wood, we fix that, okay? It could be with your health as an example. So for me, I got about 35 pounds overweight. Now, I was in the Marine Corps. I was in great shape. Got out of the Marine Corps, I got into business. It was like fitness wasn't really on my mind. I told myself I hate cardio. I'm addicted to carbs, right? Whenever I went out to a restaurant, I had to have the pasta because I just loved it. I was addicted to it. And that was my core belief. So my conscious goal was to have a 6-pack. I wanted 6-pack abs. But my subconscious mind, who I believe I am, is someone who is just not that committed, not that motivated. I'm addicted to carbs. I hate cardio. And so guess which goal won? The subconscious goal won every time. Why? Because the law of consistency and commitment says we will be committed to remaining consistent with who we believe We are. So having said all that, some of you have had some, like, the light bulb has come on in some area of your life, hopefully. We got to think about, so before I get into that, one thing is this, is we have to be conscious of the thoughts that we're thinking. We have to, and it's not to say, like, I don't believe in this whole positive mental attitude, meaning, oh, no negative thought ever comes in your mind. Like, negative thoughts come in my mind all the time, but I'm aware of it, right? So how do we fix this? Well, number one is have some awareness and redirect the thought, okay? And we'll talk more about that in a second. So where does your thoughts and beliefs come from? It comes from your programming. Okay, we are programmed, whether we're conscious to it or not, we're being programmed. We've been programmed our entire life by a million different sources. We're programmed, and we're programmed in three primary ways. Okay, three primary ways that we are programmed. So let's go up here. Number one is based on our experiences. Okay, so my experience growing up was money's hard to come by. My belief was that money's hard to make. I'm not a multimillionaire. I've never seen a multimillionaire. Money's hard to come by. Now, is that true? Not true at all, is it? There are, according to the World Wealth Report, I've been tracking this for about 15 years. About 15 years ago, there were 11 million millionaires in the world, according in US dollars. Today, last year, there's 63 million millionaires in the world. 63 million millionaires in US dollars, okay? There's money everywhere. Money's not hard to come by, but if you believe that money's hard to come by, what's gonna manifest for you? What's gonna show up for you? A lack of money, okay? And so the experience shapes your belief system. See, what happens is you have an experience and then you create a story, you create a meaning. So an example with my father. So my father dropped me off at a library one night. And this was after he'd gotten out of prison, alcoholic, living with him for a period of time because my mom is going through some challenges. And he drops me off at the library, says, call me when you're done, right? And I'll come pick you up. Well, there's a payphone out there. I've got my quarters. And I finish my book report. I call him. He doesn't answer. I call him again. He doesn't answer. I call him again. He doesn't answer. Eventually, they close the library. The person says, are you okay? And I said, yeah, my dad's coming to get me. I lied because I was embarrassed. So the payphone was in the lobby. They locked the door. I'm sitting. It's raining. It's pouring down rain. We had moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't know exactly where we live, but I have a pretty good idea. And I wait another 30, 45 minutes. He never comes. So I run home in the rain. I find my way back to our apartment. And as I walk in the door and I'm walking to my room, my dad is just passed out drunk. So the experience was dad left me, dad abandoned me. And I had that experience multiple times in my, childhood. And so I created a story based on that experience. The meaning I associated was my father doesn't love me. If my father loved me, he would have picked me up. He wouldn't have abandoned me. And, I could give you a bunch of other stories. And so the other thing that I started believing was I wasn't enough, right? If my father doesn't love me, my mother, who's kind of shipped me off to live with him, even after he's been in prison and all these crazy things, I'm just not enough. I'm not worthy. So no surprise, I had one girlfriend in high school, no girlfriends in college, because the only reason I had a girlfriend was because one girl told my best friend that she wanted to go out with me. And so I had the courage to ask her out because I knew it was a sure thing. I wouldn't get rejected. Aside from that, I didn't have a girlfriend until I was like 23 years old, 24 years old. Why? Because I just didn't have the confidence. I didn't believe I was enough. Now, was that true? No, I was enough. I just didn't believe I was enough, right? I had so many experiences that proved I wasn't enough. It's what I believed. Number two is your external programming. What other people have said about you. So that might be teachers, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, you name it, friends, right? what someone says about us, we tend to believe is true, especially if it comes from an authority figure. And it might be about you, and it might be about something else. Maybe it's about money. Someone in your life may have said something like money doesn't grow on what? Trees. So we grow up with this programming that money's hard to come by because money doesn't grow on trees, right? Every time I went to the grocery store, I learned quickly, don't even ask for candy, because the answer was always what? No, right? Mom, can I? No, right? So my belief was money's hard to come by, right? And I remember one time, quick story, and I'm telling you examples because I want you to relate to stories about yourself. Like, where else have you been programmed in a way that is total bullshit? There's no real truth to it other than the meaning you made up. One of mine, 6th grade, I'm running a 1-mile race, 6 laps around this little track. I'm in about 10th place out of 100 kids on the 3rd lap. I decide I'm going to run as hard as I can and see if I can win. Well, I come in 2nd place out of 100 kids. I come home. I'm so excited. Mom, we ran a 1-mile race, and the only kid who beat me was Johnny. He's the best athlete in the school. I beat 99 other kids. And she's like, oh, honey, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Our family, we're not good runners at all. Immediately, I associated that I'm not a good runner. I created a meaning that I'm not a good runner. Was it true? No, the opposite was true. The truth, evidence, the experience showed that I was a good runner. But because I had some external programming through an authority figure in my life, guess how many more races I tried to win? I didn't try to win any others. Why? Because I just believed I wasn't a good runner. Third way that we're programmed is our internal programming. It's what we say and what we think about ourselves that gives us power, that reshapes our belief system. So we consciously think powerful things about ourselves, powerful things about other people, powerful things about other things that we want to manifest, like money or health or whatever it is. And that ultimately shifts our identity. It shifts our subconscious mind. So what happens, and everyone wants to know, like, what's the secret to self-motivation? And so the secret to natural self-motivation is when you have an identity that is in contrast with your results. And there's a negative motivation and a positive motivation. So a negative motivation is if you believe you are a $50,000 a year kind of person and you get a job or you get, lottery winners. This is the perfect example. 90% of lottery winners lose all their money and they end up just as broke or broker than they were before. Why? It's this exact principle that I'm sharing with you. It's a negative motivation because their results, their income is way up here, but their identity is still down here. They didn't shift their identity, their belief system to match their results. And so in essence, their financial results are motivated negatively to get back to the identity, back to the person you believe you are. So what's the contrast? How do you have natural self-motivation? Like, it's the opposite. When your identity is higher than where your results are, right? When you're constantly speaking life into yourself and you're speaking what you want to be true, guess what happens? You start to believe it. Your subconscious mind, it operates a lot like a computer. So everything you input into the computer is an entry into your registry. It's an entry into your subconscious mind. And so I want to give you guys just a very quick tool. And again, we could spend another hour or two going through all this. For me, I geek out on it. But what I want you to remember is this. It's called stop and switch. You see, we all have what I believe is a good wolf and a bad wolf. A good wolf and a bad wolf. And the bad wolf is that negative voice on your shoulder. How many of you know the voice I'm talking about? Okay. And the bad wolf will say, if I can stay in your head, I'll have you forever. So what we have to be very conscious of is shutting up the bad wolf and turning on the good wolf. Well, what's the good wolf? The good wolf is the one who's saying, you can do this. You are powerful. You are intelligent. See, I used to say all the time, I'd drop my keys and I'd say, man, I'm such an idiot all the time. And what we have to know is whatever you say about yourself makes it more true. You may want to write that down. Whatever you say about yourself makes it more true. Whatever you say after I am follows you. Okay, so if you say I'm an idiot, guess what? You're programming yourself to be more of an idiot. So if I had to guess, many of you, and I only say this because it's true for me, and I'm still identifying it to myself today. Many of you, including myself, are saying and negatively programming yourself to become someone you don't want to become. So I had to shut the bad wolf off and turn on the good wolf. So it's stopping the bad wolf and switching to the good wolf. And I could give you a ton of examples that I've applied in my life. One was, instead of saying I'm such an idiot, I stopped myself and I switched to the good wolf. I'm an incredible genius and I apply my wisdom. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. So I got to reverse the destructive pattern. Otherwise, I'll continue to get destructive results. So when it came to fitness and I got 35 pounds overweight and I saw myself and I realized, holy shit, I've got to get back in shape. But I understood my identity was broken. I'm addicted to carbs. I love sugar. How many of you have ever hear someone say, oh, I've got a sweet tooth? Is there truth to that? It's total bullshit. There is no truth to anyone naturally having any kind of sweet tooth. But every time you say I have a sweet tooth, guess what? You have more of the sweet tooth. So every time I said I love pasta, I'm addicted to carbs, guess what manifested in my life? I became more ingrained, that belief became more ingrained. I became more addicted. And so I just shifted it. I started telling myself, I love to work out. I'm addicted to working out. I'm a peak performance athlete. And that shifted things for me, right? And I could go through so many examples of so many students over the years, okay? And so the bottom line is, we get what we think about. We become who we believe we are. So we want to get rid of the destructive pattern and turn on the positive pattern. How do you do that? Stop and switch. So when that negative voice comes in and it's like, oh, I'm not motivated, you stop it. And you switch it to what? Well, what would empower you? Whatever's true for you. I can, I will, I must. I will have this, right? And that has been what I call the success path framework. And when I finally understood that, and more importantly, applied it and did an exercise that I'll encourage all of you to do, and it's what I call, it's a process I walk through with a lot of my coaching clients. It's becoming the ultimate version of you. If you could be anyone, who would you be? If you could be anyone, who would you be? Can't be anyone else. It has to be the most powerful version of yourself. Okay, so I had a desire to be a public speaker. So I had to start affirming I'm an international speaker. I touch, move, and inspire people, right? All of these things, because I was so afraid of it. I had to say those things to break out of my comfort zone. When it came to in business, I grew a company and I grew it to $1 million and I was comfortable there. And then I did 4 million. And the next year I did 6 million, and it was so far out of my comfort zone, I didn't believe I was capable of being a powerful CEO. And so I was constantly looking for another president, another CEO. I need someone to manage this company because it's so overwhelming. I don't know how to do it. This was my programming all the time. And then the next year I did 8 million in sales, and the next year 10 million in sales. And I'm constantly saying I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. And my company ended up crumbling. And I could blame it on outside factors, but I'm telling you, one of the biggest reasons why my company suffered is because I believed I was not capable of leading a company of that size. Again, I could give you so many different examples. And so hopefully that serves you guys. Remember, stop and switch. And just be very conscious to the programming that comes in. And so I know, and before I hop into the next section, Nadine, if you don't mind, you were just telling me the situation that was happening where there was, a max income and the need for tax benefits, and we were kind of brainstorming on some strategies there. Nadine, you can talk about the situation a lot better than I can.
Sure. Yeah. So a lot of people in our Hope Dealers community, we get this awesome benefit of Affordable Care Act health insurance. And so when you make a certain amount of income, if you start having more success and make more, you're going to not qualify. So what as a W-2 income earner, I mean, there's just, you're screwed. So what we were talking about was how our tax structure is and how having your own home-based business of whatever it is could help you give legal, ethical write-offs so that you could, well, keep more of your money and keep more benefits that come along with that.
All right, awesome. So, and that's one of the things that I've worked. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax professional. I don't play one on TV. But I have worked with hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs across the U.S. and around the world and many other countries. It's a similar situation where if you have a home-based business, and that should work. I used to have a beautiful slide that showed this, but Sandy Botkin is a former, worked with the IRS, and he wrote a book, Lower Your Taxes Big Time. And what he says is the average family saves between $2,000 to $10,000 per year just by having a home-based business, because you can start writing off your internet connection, your cell phone, your computer, any startup cost, advertising, trips that involve business. It's one of the reasons why I got involved in the travel business, so my trips could become research. A percentage of your rent or your mortgage when you're eating out. I generally, in so many instances, I find a way to talk business at the business, like lunches and dinners and things like that. And so there are so many write-offs that most people are just not taking advantage of that they should be taking advantage of. And so that's kind of what we were talking about. And what I will show you guys now, Nadine and I are partners in what is, I wouldn't say the largest, one of the largest, becoming one of the largest travel clubs in the world. It's called Club Secret. And we launched March of 2021. So it's been just over 2 years. It's a new concept in travel where we essentially are taking advantage of buying power. So we've got thousands and thousands of members from around the world, and we make money by creating a referral network to the travel club. And so I'll run through like very, very quickly. If you guys want a tax benefit that can save you $2,000 to $10,000 per year, this is probably the easiest and most affordable one that I know of. The parent company behind Club Secret, it's Secret Direct, 20-year-old company doing business in all 50 states, 40 countries around the world. They've done over $3 billion in sales. They have over 100 different products, including Club Secret. And you can become an independent business owner, an agent for Secret for $49 per year. And so $49 allows you to have a home-based business and take advantage of all of the write-offs. And one of the reasons why it's such an easy decision for so many people to do this is because, just very simply, you would save way more than $49 just by having the home-based business. And there's a million businesses you could start. Most of those require a lot of startup capital. I have invested, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the past to start different businesses. $49 is probably the least expensive business that I have ever started. And it is just a ton of fun. And one of the things that I believe is really true, one of the reasons why I have a coaching business and have coaching clients from around the world is because I love to coach. I love to help people, and I love to create insights and ahas, and I just love the results it creates. And so I got involved in Club Secret simply because I wanted to travel more and I wanted to create a residual income. And so with my coaching business as an example, we've built a pretty large coaching business, but it is not residual or leveraged in nature, right? I mean, I have other coaches. We sell a $12,000 yearly mastermind, and it's great money, but if I'm not coaching or managing our coaches who are coaching and not bringing in new customers, my income dries up. So God forbid something happened to me, my income would stop. With the business that I've built over the last couple of years with Secret, it has been a multiple six-figure per year income that happens with or without me. And so I'll run through a little bit about the mission of Club Secret. It's very simply, we want to help people look better, feel better, and experience the world. And so the benefits of being part of Club Secret, we have our own private booking engine. And so the way travel typically works is if you go to Expedia or Travelocity or Orbitz and you book a hotel, the website, they earn a commission when you book through their website. And so what Club Secret does is they take the commission out and you get the wholesale price. Now, you're not allowed to display wholesale prices on the general web. You have to do that through a private login. It's something called price parity in the travel industry. And so you have your own private login and you're getting the wholesale rate on over 1 million different properties around the world. And so just some examples, one day in Vegas, $166 savings per night at Caesar Palace. Here's one, the Arizona Biltmore, which is an amazing property, $88 per night savings. Here's one in Miami, Florida, $781 savings in one night. Those are private ocean condos. Here's one, it's a 7-night stay in Cancun. $3,400 savings for a week. Here's another week-long vacation, $656 savings to Bali, Indonesia, which if you haven't been to Bali, definitely put it on your bucket list. It is an incredible place. And so many others. And so we have a group buying power because we have thousands and thousands of members. We negotiate special prices that you wouldn't have access to as an individual, and that the major websites online, they can't sell at these prices because they're wholesale. So 5 nights in Mexico, $199, $727 for Costa Rica, 10-day cruise out of Greece, $1,300. Awesome deals. And so if you love to travel, it's a pretty awesome thing. And if you love to travel and you don't have enough money to travel, it's a way to earn some money for your travel budget. Now, we also have daily deals, and these are thousands of retailers that we have access to, and it's designed to save our members $4,000 per year at over 1 million retailers and 80,000 different events. And so if you ever go to the movies, if you ever go to theme parks, if you buy clothes, if you do things like DoorDash or Petco or Postmates or anything like that, I mean, you're saving money at tons and tons and tons, over 1 million different retailers, where you're going to save anywhere from like 5 to 50%. We also have a Be Well benefit. And so this is basically as a club member, you have your own doctor at your fingertips. And so instead of needing to go to the doctor, you can hop on Zoom, do a video conference with a doctor. They can even prescribe medication. You pay $0 out of pocket. And so that's good for your entire household. So if you have kids that are living in the house or a spouse, then they have access to this as well. Zero copay, you pay nothing for it. Very cool service. And the membership, it's $199 one time and then $50 per month. And again, one of the reasons why thousands of people have become members, tens of thousands at this point, is because in a lot of cases, you can go on one vacation and save more than the cost of the membership. And what's really cool, and this is one of the reasons why, so many people get started, is just because you get a trip. So you actually get a vacation when you do this. We call it a secret getaway. A 7-night hotel stay, a cruise for 2, or we have a thing called Endless Europe. This is amazing. We have a big European group, and you can actually travel all over Europe and stay at hotels in Europe for free as long as you buy dinner at the property. And so there's a one-time activation fee. So it's $99. So you're basically getting a secret getaway for a $99 activation fee. And so pretty awesome. I actually was part of another travel program years ago and never have seen anything like this. And so thousands of properties available with the getaway. Here's an example. Park Royale Beach Resort, $99 for the getaway. You would pay $1,075 on Expedia. And here's another one, Scottsdale Links Hilton Resort, $99 activation fee. Normally you'd pay $1,185 on Expedia. And again, thousands of those. You can also do the getaway cruises or the endless European getaways. So it's unlimited dine and stay for an entire year. You only pay for breakfast and dinner. Sometimes you don't have to do the breakfast. Over 500 4- and 5-star resorts in 20 different countries, no resort fees, no taxes, pretty awesome deal. So many people will stay at 20, 30 places over the course of a year for the cost of getting started with Club Secret. You also have access to a ton of different products, energy products, weight loss products, shakes, tons and tons of different products. We have skincare. The company did over $1 billion in skincare. So tons of products there. And then we have a loyalty program. And this is one of the reasons why people not only join, but they stay, is our loyalty program. Your Club Secret membership is $50 a month. If you buy $50 a month in product in addition to that, so it might be shampoo or conditioner or the shakes. In fact, you save money. I do typically 2 shakes a day. Saves me money from going out to eat. It's cheaper to drink the shakes than it is to go either make food or go out to eat. When you buy $50 a month in product, at the end of 12 months, they're going to give you another getaway. So you get a vacation when you get started, and 12 months later, you get another vacation. And so that is a pretty cool thing. There is an income side to it. So if you're open to the idea of earning some additional income, and earning a residual income, a leveraged income, you can actually earn commissions not just based on your own referrals, but anyone they refer. And so Warren Buffett, a pretty smart guy, said if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. So the cost to get started, it's $199 plus $49 to be an agent. $249 gets you started. Every time you refer someone else, you make $20. There's no limit to the amount that you can refer. And then there's 2 teams. There's a left team and a right team. I don't know why there's 2, boys on the left, girls on the right, I guess. When you have 5 active members on your left and right, the company pays you $50 guaranteed residual income every single month. That's in addition to your other bonuses. When your team grows to 10 active members on the 50-50, left and right, you make a guaranteed monthly residual income of $200 a month that just keeps coming in every single month. And as that continues to grow to 25 and 25, 50 total members, you're making $500 a month. 100 total members, you're making $1,000 a month. 200 total members on your team, you're making $2,000 a month. 500 total members on your team, you're making $5,000 a month. And for a lot of people, that is a life-changing full-time income. As it continues to go up, the income just continues to go up. I was able to hit this level what I consider to be very quickly within a year. And then 1,000 and 1,000, you have a $20,000 a month residual income, guaranteed coming in every month as long as you have those members, in addition to other bonuses that come in as well. And so $199 plus the $50 gets you started. If you wanted to buy some additional products, like if you wanted to get all the health products or the skincare products, there's a preview and pro pack. Nadine is one of the biggest experts and top leaders in the entire company. I don't think she's even opened this up for very many people, but she has had a ton of success. And so she can answer any questions that you might have. We do have a full training system. And so if you are serious about making some additional income and having all the business write-offs, then there's definitely a team that will help you in a big way. And so, just get back with Nadine and let her know if, this is something that you're excited about. If you want to get started, there's no better person than her. I know she has invited a couple other people who, can come on and share their story. But Nadine, I just admire you so much because of, who you are, what you stand for, and how you help people. So I appreciate you putting up with my sweatiness on this Zoom tonight.
Matt, thank you so much. You brought us really, really great value to everyone here and an idea of something if they can't, think of their own idea to save taxes. What an amazing, super low cost way to do it through Club Secret. Plus the community just rocks. I mean, this community of being around all this amazing mindset training. But I invited my friends Pam and Jay really quick just to say hi. Are you guys on here? Is Pam there?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Pam, hey, what's up, girl?
Hi, can you see me okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, friends,
Yes,
this is Pam.
Matt Morris. I'm ready to get started all over again. So, hello, everybody. Great evening. Thank you, Nadine, so much for allowing me some time this evening with your amazing community. So when I saw this industry was in the middle of the pandemic and I got reintroduced to this industry at a time that I really wasn't looking for it. And my mom had just got diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer. I was looking for plant-based products. And when I tried over a dozen with her and I actually saw she liked these, I was a bit surprised and it got me open-minded. And I feel like that was God softening my heart and really making me open-minded to this opportunity. Like Matt was saying, home-based businesses always make sense when it comes to tax benefits. It's over 200 of them and very aware of that. Being a business coach, being somebody that was in commercial banking, taking advantage of this opportunity was absolutely amazing. Like Matt said, there's never been a clearer path to residual. In my first 8 weeks, I made over $8,000. But really, this community, it allowed me in the worst of times, at a time when my mom became my angel 2 years ago, that this community gave me the love that I needed, that allowed me to persist and persevere and focus on my mental strength and energies to allow me to continue to prosper in my purpose and impacting people's lives and partnering up with amazing individuals like Nadine, like Matt, like Jay, and so many other people. So greatly appreciate your time and thank you so much for letting me share.
Oh, Pam, that was awesome. Thanks for sharing. It's good to see you. I like your pink top. That's cute. So thank you so much. And Jay, are you around? Jay and I share in common where we're both addiction counselors. You there, Jay?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Hey, yeah.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Amazing training, Matt. I've been blessed and, lucky to be partnered up with Matt for over 10 years. And he's been a great mentor, definitely helped me so much change my mindset. And like Nadine said, before, getting involved with a home-based business, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I'm married with 4 beautiful, amazing kids. I have KSAC. I was doing substance abuse counseling for a living. I found my passion in that, coming from a family that struggled with addiction. And so I was just that person that, I knew what it was to grow up in that environment, and I was able to make it out. And so I was just trying to help other people do the same exact thing. And, like I was telling Nadine, we had a lot of mindset development courses that we had when we were doing counseling. The 5 things we focused on, the 5 pillars was mental, spiritual, financial, social, and I can't think about the last one, but we had things to help people, process, their, you got to have a balanced life to get to that next level. And so I fell in love with it, but it all became about insurance and it took away the passion from it. It was more about making sure we're doing all the paperwork for the billing. And so when I saw a home-based business, I love the fact that it gave people the opportunity to be able to be in a community that of people who want to see you do well. And that's why a lot of people were succeeding in the program that I was working with, because we had these classes that were groups. And so when I saw the community here with Secret, it was providing the same thing, but it was just more of also providing an economical vehicle to help people as well, plus the tax benefits. And so from just being a part of it, I've lost over 60 pounds from working 60, 80 hours a week. I was overweight. I wasn't really focusing on myself. I was catching something called burnout, which happens a lot in our industry. And I was just, looking for something. I was desperate, and, seeing this home-based business, I got excited for the travel and the savings on taxes, but, to take my kids on vacation. And from just doing that, losing weight, taking a bunch of trips, and then sharing my experiences with other people, it became a huge business for us. And we've been able to do this now full time. And what I make now is double to triple what I used to make as a counselor. And I pay way less taxes, because of the benefits. So it's just been a blessing for me and my family. And I love the fact that we have a community to bless others. And I love what you're doing, Nadine. It's a blessing. And Matt, again, thank you so much for all that you do for us, man. We truly appreciate you.
Awesome. Jay, thanks for sharing. I'm so blessed to be around people like you, because we've always been told the people we surround ourselves with as who we become. And so 10 years ago, I was a completely different person than I am now. And through being around all this mindset training, through learning all these better ways to live, looking better, feeling better, experiencing the world, all the mindset training community has allowed me to have a way to fund my nonprofit. This is how we started our nonprofit, was from the money we had earned in the beginning with our own business on the side here. So I am just so thankful that I got to share with my community one of my mentors and trainers, Matt Morris, which is awesome. So now you see the type of training that I've been around for the past almost 12 years. And I also get to share with my community, you know, how to save on taxes, keep your health insurance so that you can qualify by having a home-based business. And if you happen to like one, like, you know, what I've chosen and some of my friends have chosen, cool, just ask me about it and I'll tell you about that. Or if you want coaching on anything else, you know, we're here to share that with you too. So thank you guys so much for spending time with us tonight and learning how to be the best version of you and how to get more out of your life. And I'm just so thankful that you guys came on tonight. So we're officially done, but if anyone has any questions, it's kind of cool that this is a meeting, not a webinar. We can all talk to each other and say hi and ask questions if we want. So does anybody have any questions or comments or?
This is Wendell, and I just want to say, wow, that was fabulous.
Wendell. Thanks,
And
Wendell.
thank you so much. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Nadine, for just doing that. That was awesome. And the mindset, that was really, really good. I look forward to working with y'all in the future.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Wendell. Anyone else get any amazing enlightenment moments with some of the stuff that Matt shared?
Hey Nadine, this is Isetta. How are you?
How are you, dear?
I am great. I'm so glad that you sent me that invite as well. I want to piggyback off of what Wendell said. It was very, very enlightening. A lot of information that I will definitely absorb and take heed and basically look into that direction, because I never knew that, you know, because I'm a subcontractor as well outside of working with Ridgeview. So my thing is that I'm trying to figure out ways to be able to, of course, pay less money back in taxes and things like that. So I will definitely be reaching back out to you all about this, because this seems like a win-win-win. That's it.
Wonderful. Thank you,
Yes,
Isetta. I
yes.
get to work with Isetta in the mental health field. She works at one of our treatment programs. So I was so glad you're here with us. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you. All righty. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Anyone else?
I was
Well,
trying
guys,
to find my button to unmute to tell you this was terrific, and I'm sorry I saw your message late, so I missed the first part of it. But I caught part of what Matt was showing, and for anybody new, I know you had some new people on here. I just want to say they couldn't be working with a better coach than Nadine. She's been a terrific benefit for me, even as a distant cousin in the group.
Thanks, Sam. That was nice of you. Thank you. Well, one great thing is if you missed any of this, or if there's a lot of awesome mindset information that Matt gave us, it's been recorded. I will share the recording just the way I shared the invite to everything. And, you know, if you have questions, certainly ask. If you need some more coaching on anything, I'm always here. And yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to a bigger and better version of ourselves. So thanks, everyone. And with that, unless there's any last comments, I'm about to close it out.
That was awesome. Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nadine.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Nadine.
Nadine.